Hello traders, good afternoon. My name is Tomasz Wiśniewski. I'm a Chief Analyst in Alpari Research and Analysis, and this is Daily Analytical Report, where we'll try to look for the perfect trading occasions. And I will tell you what's happening on the markets from the technical and fundamental point of view. What's happening is another wave of weaker dollar. As in general, this decline in the value of the American dollar is caused by the fact that we are expecting from some bigger movements, stronger movements, stronger upswing on euro, right? We more or less know everything about the Fed, about the Fed's approach to the interest rates rises, but we don't know much about ECB. With the better data from Europe, expectations about rising interest rates are getting more serious. That is why euro is climbing higher, which is affecting dollar index. Also, we do have currency wars, right? So comments from central bankers, also from politicians, about the strength of local currencies. The most recent comments from Mr. Mnuchin, US Treasury Secretary, about the weakness of the dollar strongly negatively influenced the American dollar. Another thing is a correction on stocks right now, which is happening. So we do have a correction on American indexes, and we do have correction on European indexes, and this one in Europe is additionally caused not only by the fact that the Americans are having a correction, right? Because those markets are connected. So we say often that when United States sneezes, Europe has or the rest of the world have cold or flu, right? So the movements outside of the US are exaggerated, but it's also the strength of euro which is affecting European indexes, in particular DAX, because DAX is an exporting country. Germany is an exporting country. So a stronger euro is bad for the revenue for the exporters, and that can be seen on the chart of DAX, that stronger dollar is suddenly becoming a problem. Also in Europe we do have a rising yield on bonds, which can be a potential problem in terms of the cost of the debt. But we'll see if that will develop in any more serious problems later. Let me show you the calendar, because today is the first Friday of the month. So what we do have is non-farm payrolls. Non-farm payrolls are not so important anymore, right? We all know that American economy is doing great, the job market is doing very good, so it's not such a big difference if we do have 100 new jobs, or 100,000 or 100,050, right? It's not so important. Nowadays it's a tradition that it's an important data, but recently non-farm payrolls lost a bit of meaning, and I think that inflation is more important for the traders. So still to come, non-farm payrolls, traditionally the most important data. Yesterday we got PMIs day. After we finished daily analytical report, you can see that PMIs which were shown after that, so PMIs from Canada, PMIs from United States came better than expectations. So, well, yeah, the market numbers are very good. Economy is glowing still. As for today, non-farm payrolls, factory orders, average hourly earnings, that will be important as well. And two speeches from FOMC members. As it is Friday, let us check the calendar for the forthcoming week, because if you want to open a position now, it would be good to know, and you want to leave it for the weekend, it would be good to know what is going to happen next week. On Tuesday, important day for New Zealand dollar. On Tuesday, important day for Australia. We have interest rate decision. We have rate statement. Apart from that, on Wednesday we do have a ECB non-monetary policy meeting. We do have a rate statement and policy statement from Reserve Bank of New Zealand, and along with interest rate decision, obviously, hour later. On Thursday, important day for British pound, also interest rate decision. And on Friday, Reserve Bank of Australia will present monetary policy statement, but we'll get CPIs from China, which also will be important. So important week, but mostly for the Asian and antipodes, so Australia and New Zealand. Rest of the world, maybe on Thursday we do have this British pound pack of data for the pound traders. Let me show you the charts now. With another wave of weakness of the American dollar, gold is going higher. Here the sentiment in the short term is still negative, because we do have this kind of a double top formation. They try to break this resistance on 1,300, let's say 60 points. They failed. So as long as we stay below, there's kind of like a double top formation, but there's no buy signal, but there's no sell signal here as well, because we are above 23.6 Fibonacci level. We are above the, let's say, neckline of the double top formation here. As long as we stay above the green line, there's no sell signal here whatsoever. So there's a neutral sentiment, no buy signal, no sell signal. We are just waiting for the further developments on this pair. Breakout of the yellow area should trigger us a buy signal. Breakout of the green area should trigger us a sell signal. Sorry, American dollar to Japanese yen, that's what we said. Yesterday, that bounce from the horizontal support is bringing us a positive sentiment here, so we should see a comeback to 38.2, to those lows from the middle of January. That's the kind of movement that we should see here. So bounce from here, movement aiming 38.2. And DAX. DAX is on the edge. We talked about DAX on our trading sniper video. We analyzed DAX with FTSE and Bitcoin. And what's the situation on DAX? Well, DAX is on the edge. That's the last support for them. So we are on the long-term uptrend line, which was created after November 2016. That's super important uptrend line. Along with that uptrend line, what we do have here is a horizontal support on 12,900 points. And this is ultra important as well. It was with us since May 2017. It was a resistance at first, obviously. After the breakout it became a support. Most recently it was tested at the beginning of the year, and this test was beautiful. That was a very nice price action buy signal, because the price created a hammer. After that we went significantly higher. In the meantime creating a wedge. But now what's left is a double top formation. And well, I'm sure there is a divergence here without even checking that first. There is a divergence here with those highs. You can see those highs. Those highs are higher, but the histogram MACD is not confirming that. The same goes on the daily chart. So that's a divergence. But the thing is that that's a double top formation, right? But so far there's too early to call that a sell signal. For that we need the proper breakout of the orange area. So far so good, right? But I would prefer to see, especially that European session just started, right? It would be much better to see a convincing breakout, so a price closing somewhere around this arrow. For now, especially that here, at some point the price was there, right? And at the end of the day, buyers managed to pull the price higher and create a hammer. So they can do that here as well. Definitely trading here now would be too early, too dangerous, because the situation from the beginning of January can be repeated. They went significantly lower, and at the end of the day they pulled price higher and triggered a buy signal. The same thing can happen here. So we should wait. We should wait for the sell signal will be created once the price will close below the orange area. Intraday trading, going short intraday is not the best option here. So breakout of the orange area should trigger us a sell signal. Next one is FTSE. Maybe let me change the color of this false breakout. I was a fan of FTSE because I was a fan of FTSE since here when we spotted this ascending triangle pattern. So a red resistance, upper line of the triangle, and black lower line of the triangle. And we said that there is a chance for an upswing, that there is a bigger chance for a upswing. That's what happened. The price went significantly higher, broke the upper line, made new tops. And one thing was missing here. So a test of the recent resistance as a closest support. This test happened there, 26th of January. And this test brought us an upswing. That was a very technical bounce here. But the thing is that selling pressure continued, and this support got eventually broken, which makes this upswing a false breakout. A false breakout from the ascending triangle pattern. False breakouts usually lead to the movement to the opposite direction, so the price continued to broke this support, and the aim for this drop should be the lower line of the triangle. So we should see the price aiming the black lower line of the triangle. That's our aim. Another support can be created here. It's a bit closer, but anyway, in our opinion, we should see the price somewhere here in the next few days. Now Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin is that's bad. I saw some articles saying about the death of Bitcoin. I think they are exaggerated. Also, I saw many posts from the Bitcoin fans, like they were like, oh, we saw many drops like that, we just continue to work on the Bitcoin. It's not a big deal, it happened before, it's happening now, and it will continue to happen, but we just do our job. well, what's the situation here? I'm not gonna look on the situation from other point of view than the technical, because I'm a technical analyst, and in my opinion, a breakout of the 8.7 thousand here opens as a way towards $6,000 for one Bitcoin, and I would love to see the price there. I think that that would be quite a nice support. We had two impulse, two the same impulses. If we could see another one, but it's hard to measure where it started, right? From which top we should measure that? From this, because that's the top of the correction. Yeah, from this. If we would have the same impulses here, like this one, and if this is the bottom, this is the correction. So this one, we should see the price on 3,000, on $4,000. I think that's a nightmare for the buyers. But let me check how much Bitcoin from today. 8,700, 7,000. Okay, that's a significant drop. Anyway, breakout of the $8,700 can lead us to $6,000. $6,000. I guess on $6,000 there will be some demand. I think demand would show up if the price would get there. Well, what can we say? Sentiment is still negative as long as you stay below this purple line. Another resistance is here. Okay, there is another support. We can measure the lower line. Okay, here and here. So price getting there, that could be a good combination. So 6,000, 6,500, something like that. I don't think that the correction equality can happen. Well, I will leave it. I will remove this rectangle. Maybe I will add it to the chart later, but as you can see, most recently, like this hour, the drop on the Bitcoin increases. Well, after the breakout of $8,700, it accelerated. Not a pleasant situation, but I'm happy because I warned all my friends who were asking me what about the Bitcoin, and obviously you can imagine that most of my friends asked me here if they should buy Bitcoin or not. I was telling them that that's not the best idea, that I wouldn't go there. I'm not a fan of joining the bubbles, and I saw every sign was showing me that it's a bubble. So I said it's not the best idea, and now I have phones from my friends thanking me about that. I'm not saying that Bitcoin is bad. And actually I'm thinking about looking for a good place where I can buy Bitcoin for the future profits, right? I think it has potential, but at the same time I know that the buy signal is not there yet. That's definitely not the buying pattern. Dollar index is the next one, because on dollar index we have a start of another bearish wave. Wait. Here. Something like that. Price met horizontal resistance. There was a dynamic support here. It got broken, and it's a significant breakout because it's a strong candle. After the breakout of this support, we are aiming lower. The sentiment is negative, and the way for new dollar lows is open. Australian dollar to Canadian dollar. Yes, that's a good one. And that shows us the strength of the false breakouts pattern. Because we got a false breakout above the neckline of the inverse head and shoulder formation, a false breakout from the flag formation. That was flag, breakout, it was false, and the price went significantly lower. In the head and shoulder formation, what we should look at, if there is a false breakout, we should look at the line connecting bottom of the head and the bottom of the right shoulder. Once this line is broken, that triggers us another sell signal. So that's what we're having now. We're having a sell signal from here when the head and shoulder got denied, and we have a sell signal here when this denial is confirmed. New Zealand dollar to American dollar, I was warning you about those three bearish candlesticks. 1, 2, 3, bouncing from the horizontal resistance. As long as we stay below this resistance, I wouldn't enter with any position here. Luckily, situation is getting more clear now, because there is this resistance, there is this support. Breakout of one of those lines triggers us a trading signal. So breakout of the upper line here triggers us a buy signal, breakout of the lower line here triggers us a sell signal. Euro to British pound, they defended this horizontal support again. This horizontal support marked with a green color. Okay, as long as we stay below, the sentiment is I think we need to adjust this support to the recent price movements, because this support here is not relevant anymore, right? The price advancing lower and lower. So this should be our support. As long as we stay above the green line, there is no sell signal. And the candle from yesterday looks promising for buyers because it's a shooting, it's a hammer. Buy signal will be created when the price will break the blue line. So we are in no man's land right now. American dollar to Canadian dollar, still negative sentiment, still going lower, but the bearish momentum decreased a little bit. Breakout of the blue line will not trigger us a buy signal. I think buy signal will be created once we will come back above this line. Australian dollar to American dollar here. Oh, Australian dollar is on the back foot right now. That's a good short-term opportunity, and the price should get 50 pips lower to this horizontal support here. American dollar, Singaporean dollar, Euro dollar. That's a beautiful one. Actually, there will be a live trading session, right? In half an hour, and I do have a position here on Euro dollar and on cable. I do have a position here since I think here when the price broke the upper line of the wedge, because Euro dollar most recently was respecting those correction patterns. Flag, breakout, upswing, flag, breakout, upswing, flag, breakout, upswing, pennant, breakout, upswing, wedge, breakout. Well, not a surprise, upswing. So there's still a buy signal. Buy signal is here as long as we are above the green area. Breakout of the orange area will create another buy signal here. I also have a buy signal on a cable. As you can see, well, the last hour is not good for me, the last 2 hours. But today we made new highs, right? And here I'm also having a long position. Why? Because cable also respected trend correction patterns. And I know that history likes to repeat itself. So there is a flag, breakout, upswing. Wedge, breakout, upswing, wedge, breakout, upswing, wedge, breakout. And guess what? Upswing. Both of those positions are already on a break-even point, so I won't lose on them. I can only win, I can only gain more or nothing, but I won't lose anything, which is a good situation. Euro to New Zealand dollar. The comeback above the neckline is more and more probable with every day. This defense of the long-term uptrend seems legitimate. This head and shoulder formation is denied, more or less. So we should see the price advancing higher. S&P 500, this is this correction. Well, no doubt, January was awesome for the stock market. Here on S&P 500 we have like hundreds of uptrend lines. There's this main one here. Weekly chart can be dangerous because that can be a bearish engulfing. For the bearish engulfing we need to see a little bit of more of a downswing. But that can be an interesting situation. Look on a weekly chart, we didn't have such a negative candlestick for a long time, right? That can be like the worst week in the recent years. Interesting situation. We will see what's gonna happen. WTI false breakout below the support resulted in a strong upswing. No doubts about that. We do have a buy signal on oil. American dollar to Swiss franc. That's a weekly chart. That's a breakout of the long-term horizontal support. And after the breakout, when the next candle is making lower lows and lower highs, we just have a confirmation of this. So the price making lower lows and lower highs here this week confirms this sell signal created by the breakout of the support, and the chances for a further downswing are very high. So the next potential target for the American dollar to Swiss franc is here, and the chances that we will get there are very, very high. Australian dollar to New Zealand dollar, false breakout, punishment after false breakout. If so, that's the right shoulder still. It looks like that. Like that. Here. Still there is a head and shoulder scenario. Price closing around the arrow below the gray area will be a significant sell signal for this instrument. So we do have some interesting trading setups. Definitely. One of the most interesting is Bitcoin, I think. And DAX is on the edge. That can be painful for the sellers if they will manage to close, for the buyers if the price will manage to close below the orange area. That can be painful here, and we can see a strong downswing. Keep that in mind. Yeah, as I said, now we're having a small break, and in half an hour live trading session where I will show you my two trades on cable and on euro dollar. I will explain you a little bit in a greater detail why I opened those positions and what are my plans towards them. Okay, for now, thank you very much for attending webinar with Alpari. I hope you enjoyed that, and see you in half an hour. In the meantime, visit our Twitter account and our website alpari.news.